definitely did not ever set out to become state veterinarian. I was happy in my practice. Like a lot of veterinarians, I think I went through times where I was kind of a little bit burned out. It was getting more difficult for me to do the large animal work, which was what I really enjoyed the most. And I was getting tired of the management of practice and all the paperwork. And so I initially took a job here at the Department of Agriculture as a staff veterinarian. And I was over the cattle programs, and I was a brucellosis epidemiologist. Just worked for my boss, and she was great. She gave me a lot of leeway, and I just pretty much did my job and was very happy doing that. And then she took another job with USDA and left us without a state veterinarian. Dr. Heron, who was assistant state veterinarian at the time, he and I talked about it, and we both applied, with the idea that probably one or the other of us would be chosen, and we just thought it would be better for one of us to take it where we already knew the process and thought it would be a smoother transition. So ultimately, that's how I ended up. It certainly wasn't my dream or on my bucket list or anything. I love that I get to talk to a lot of veterinarians. We've worked really hard at trying to develop a good relationship with the practitioners. I enjoy interacting with the different producer groups like Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association, the Oklahoma Pork Council. For the most part, I loved and enjoyed my clients when I was in practice, and I feel like now I still have similar job. I have clients, but it's the entire agriculture or livestock industry in Oklahoma as opposed to individual farmers and ranchers. Sometimes we have to quarantine herds and maybe even depopulate a herd of animals to get rid of a disease. And it's hard, but it's also very interesting doing the epidemiology and trying to figure out where that disease came from and did it go somewhere, or do we have it contained. And I always say, please call me if you ever have any questions. We'd rather help you work through something than have you do something wrong. Our mission statement is to protect the herd and flock of Oklahoma. But we do that in so many ways. We try to get buy-in from the practitioners to get them to help us educate the public on why it's important to get your horses tested for EIA every year, why it's important to get a certificate of veterinary inspection when you're traveling to another state. If they have questions or don't agree with something that we say, well, let us know, let us talk about it. It's just a tremendous honor to be given that award by, the people who I consider to be my colleagues and friends. Thank OVMA for the award. I'm proud of this profession that I'm a part of. I mean, I've always thought that being a veterinarian was a really neat way to make a living. Don't be afraid to go to a small town and go into a mixed practice. It's hard work. You're going to have to take after-hours calls. But I think in a small town or community, you have such an opportunity to really make a positive impact on people's lives. You're not just taking care of people's animals, you're being a part of their lives, and that's just the neatest thing.